Hey, pretty lady, you tell yourself that you'll never make it. Drown yourself in lies and your illusions. Don't you know that what you think is who you are? Hey, pretty lady.
My name is Karachi Atia, and you're welcome to the Powder Room. I'm so excited because it has been a while since we were last on air. Thank you, Ada the Sage, for clapping. It's been over a year, and we haven't been here for over a year. So I'm so stoked to see you guys. I hope you have your glass of, of wine or, a glass of juice or just a sip of water, because we're going to be having a wonderful time here today. If you're returning to Powder Room, welcome back. But if this is your first time, Powder Room is a private place in a public space where you can let your hair down, listen to honest talk, gain on common sense, and get yourself together again to face the world with truth, tact, and tenacity. Hi, girls. You know we don't do this alone.
Hi, Cara. Hi, everyone. Hi, Adjust.
Hi, Casey the Richest. Hi, Ruby.
Hi. Hi, Cara.
Glad you're back in the Powder Room.
Glad to be back.
I'm so excited. See me smiling as if I haven't seen you guys in over a year. Wow, it's like we literally talk almost every day. It's just that we haven't sat together in this room and talked about these issues. So that's why I'm super excited. And today our topic is the new not so normal. Last year it was the new normal. That was the buzzword. But then this year we've taken it a step higher. It's the new not so normal. There are so many things that are not normal that are happening in our spaces now. And I just want us to talk about it a bit. And then later on, you can just put in the chat room as you're watching this, what is the new not so normal for you? And we will be picking that up in our next session. So Ada the Sage, what is going on in your end of the world? What is not so normal for you?
First of all, let me say that it's so refreshing to see you girls again and to come back to the Powder Room. We've had so much we've talked about in the year, and I'm like, I wish our viewers were able to hear those things. But, I'm happy that we're here. So, all the way from Canada here, I think the past 18 months have been, it's been a walk up a very steep hill. I think globalization also has made the effects of COVID or the past 18 months universal. Everybody can relate to all the issues and all the challenges that COVID has thrown up, whether it's remote work or, I don't want to sound like a clanging symbol, like a lot of it stares us in the eye. And for once, the whole world is feeling the pinch at the same time. Like it's never happened before. Anybody will say, you shoe, my born attire, but everybody is wearing the same shoe right now, experiencing the pinch. So having said that, I will just say something very specific about one of the ways that COVID, that the past 18 months impacted us. In Canada here, people are very high on going to the gym. And with COVID restrictions, the gym was closed down. Initially, there was a debate about it, but going to the gym is an essential need, right? But the provinces and the federal government were shut down the gyms. So, of course, it led to a spike of a lot of online and gym instructors clothing, there's so many of them coming up with so many things. Fantastic. But people also couldn't get, there were a lot of supply chain issues. Tissue was scarce. Do you remember? There were all those videos in Costco where people were struggling for tissue, Kleenex, wipes. It was just ludicrous. But we also saw things like dumbbells, gym equipment, because they're not going to the gym. People had to get stuff at home and then we couldn't get them. So people started being creative. We'll put sand and stones in plastic bottles. And we're able to create dumbbells. And for once, people were like, wait, so if I can actually improvise, what else at home can I not also improvise with? Then the same supply chain issues, office tables were scarce. You couldn't get at the stores at a point. So someone like me, I got my ironing board out after I saw a video. And I used my ironing board. And funny enough, the board is fantastic because I could raise my ironing board so high. So when I'm tired of sitting down, I stand up. And, it kind of really helped up until when I was able to get myself an electronic table. And so people started looking around their houses and found out that many people decide to realize that probably there's a lot of waste going on because we can repurpose a lot of things. So I think that, and that's where critical thinking comes in, analytical thinking. How do you make the best out of the little you have? So it's aided resourcefulness. I think that anyone who didn't engage his brain in the past 18 months, COVID will obviously make you have to really, really think critically. So I think it was fantastic. However you want to view it, half full or half empty. The point is there's water in the bottle. And like people always say, Dinta, ano mutai bajoso. Dinta, amutai bajegbe. Meaning that when the hunt, that's the prey, learns to be going zigzag, then the hunter learns to also shoot zigzag. So, that's how it's been for me over here.
Wow, thank you so much, Ada. Catch yourself. If you didn't catch that, she threw one, so if you haven't learned how to repurpose your stuff, this is the time for critical thinking. Do you agree? Let me go to see the strategist. What's been happening in your space? And
Yeah, so Ada, Ada the stage, I like your proverbs, really nice. So for me, it's been so many things, and I'll just pick on two, okay? So there's the new world of work. We know a lot of organizations are still working from home, so it's new. It's the new not so normal. Not so normal because things keep changing. There's Zoom, Microsoft Teams, all sorts, going on. There's also the virtual school. So as a mom, I relate to that. Children are home. Children were home for a very long time. And then there are times when they say, okay, they have to go virtual, to kind of like sanitize the school, and they get back together again. And from those two concepts of the new work, arrangements, new world of work and virtual schooling, some things have come out, I think that this new not so normal is an appraisal system. It's called out a lot of things. Some teachers lost their jobs. Even people in different sectors, they lost their jobs because it was like, there's a new world. Can you fit in? So, and the appraisal is everything. There's a new world in the workplace. There's a new world in commerce. There's a new world in every space. Can you fit in? And so it's an appraisal system for everyone. And also, when it comes to the new world of work, there's also the self-management, self-discipline aspect of it, because if you're working from home, you're not shutting down your laptop to enter some vehicle to go home. So you can actually have your laptop on 24 hours. But how are you managing yourself? How are you structuring your day to make sure that you're still effective, efficient at work? You can still relate with the other aspects of your life. So back to the new definition of work-life balance. So I think this new not so normal is a combination of so many things. And like I said, it's an appraisal system. And, Ada was saying if someone hasn't kind of like, learn to repurpose or learn to change a few things in the past 18 months, there's a problem, because we're not in the world where in this new not so normal, you can just remain as you are. Something must shift. So it's either you shift or the new not so normal shift you. So that's where I think, things are right now.
These strategists, thank you so much. There's something you said that made me actually start laughing when you said the school is now at home. I just immediately saw a picture of your child asking you, how do you do HCF? I'm asking HCF. Like all the home is in school, it's just a mess everywhere. And so those that did not pass mass, your children down there, there's nowhere to hide for you. Right. So,
Sarah, we appreciate you much more, you teachers.
There's no sort of me, my deans this new year. There was one that particularly made me laugh. The one that said, teacher, you lied. You said my kid was a pleasure to have in class. He's not. I was laughing because literally now you have to spend time with your kids. And you know how difficult it is to work with them. So it's hilarious, really. But coming to you, Ruthie the Prof, talk to me. What's been new? What's happening in your space?
Okay, Okay, talking about the educational system, I was laughing when you talked about asking your children, asking you questions. You know, the good thing is that you can get stuck, but with the new not too normal, you can also get unstuck because education is now accessible, affordable. All you need to do is say, give me 2 minutes or 2 seconds, and you go to Google. Google is your friend. And Google can teach you with one video or one, post or something. So actually that is solved for parents, because parents, everybody is becoming one thing or the other because there's learning everywhere on different platforms. We're talking about Google Learning. We're talking about YouTube Learning. So a lot of people have started careers just by learning something on YouTube. They've started whole new careers. And so what's really new and not so normal now is that learning has become very accessible, has become very affordable. It's not something that's new. It has always been available, but the changes and the whole issues that we had with COVID actually made those platforms more popular and made them more accessible. So there were whole institutions that had to collapse their brick and mortar system and then go all the way digital. And so really, if you talk about the appraisal issues that see the strategies brought up, you find out that people don't have any excuse with upgrading on their competency levels. So these things are available. You can actually get learning, you can actually get certifications. Universities have gone online, so people can read and improve on themselves. And, life can be better for you because things have changed. The only people that might have an issue are people with issues with connectivity. And I'm sure that as we go on, those things will be solved. Another not so normal new thing that is happening now is that people are beginning to look at their living spaces. People are beginning to think about where they live, think about getting homes. So you see the industries like the real estate industry is blowing up, interior decor industry is blowing up. People are buying things. People are making their spaces interesting to stay in because they don't spend most of their time in the office. Working from home now has made people more innovative. They're looking out for how to use things in their homes, like Ada the Sage said. So they're innovating, things are changing. Even the designs of buildings, designs of homes have started to change. They're incorporating office spaces, workspaces into those designs, and things have it has really overturned that whole space. And people are now rethinking their spaces, beautifying their spaces, making it more comfortable, making it better. So that's actually my observation, and that's what is going on in that regard.
I find that very interesting because as you're saying that, I was looking at your background. I'm like, what a gorgeous wallpaper there. And I saw the mirror on the side. And I looked at Casey, the realist boy, and I saw her painting. And so this one, I'm going to ask Casey, when did you start shopping painting? Is that the new normal for you now, to be hanging painting up and down? What's you're not so normal?
Oh my God, I wish that was the new normal. It would have been awesome. For people like me, even before work at home became what it was, I've always believed that there's a level of effectiveness that you function with, and you make your skills very portable. You can deliver anywhere. I know they are very traditional minded business owners, but I also want to believe that when people see results, they monitor and they pursue you less, So having said that, for me, the new normal is, and the new not so normal, for me is a bit scary. Tangibles are eroding so much. Things are disintegrating. It's as though, the world is losing its tangibility. You'll always talk about reality. And now a prefix has been added to that reality, and it's called a virtual reality. And the bad part is that we're not living it where it is. We're immersing ourselves into it. There's overdependence on technology. Beyond the overdependence on technology, new habits are being formed. Before now, you probably will talk about drug addiction, you'll talk about some other addictions that, are normal. Now, you're not able to even hold on to these ones. It's affecting the mental health of individuals because they do everything in this virtual world. And it seems as though that is the real world that we live in. We see it in gaming today. And it's something that even parents need to be conscious about, because if someone has lived his life in a virtual space and that virtual space looks very real, it's very tangible, you'd rather be there, especially if there are certain things you can create and they become a make-believe for you and they are real. So you see people choosing to be in those spaces rather than the physical spaces. So, talking about people spending tons and tons of hours on their phone now is no longer, a gist. But all of these are beginning to also affect the quality of lives that we lead. And so for me, it's a new normal. It's not so normal. It's also making the things we have known to be look like they are not anymore. That's why you can see someone want to take his whole clothes off because, he just wants to diffuse, evaporate, And the interesting bits for me, or the curious bit for me, is that the realm that has always been intangible is the spiritual realm. And so are we trying to align to that realm? Facebook has called his the metaverse. We knew about the universe, and now we're talking the metaverse. So is the tangible world becoming, fusing into that intangible realm? Will the intangible realm change, or will it remain stable? And so for me, it's a journey. It's a journey, and would all see where this, gets us all to. But it's an interesting one.
Oh my goodness, Casey, there's quite a lot you've said there. Made me think tangible, intangible, what people see now as real and what they see as not, which I think feeds into what I was thinking. I think in the not so new normal, everyone has moved. Reality now happens online. It's like there's been a swap of worlds. Do you understand? Where this one that we're living is in limbo, and the real one is what's happening in that space in the inch of your phone or your laptop or your whatever. Social connections have moved there. Business meetings have also, because of that world. Exactly. And so you find people outsourcing their own, decisions. They outsource the capacity to think as an individual. So what is everybody liking? What's everybody posting? What's everybody saying? What's the general consensus about this sex tape? Who's on that, who's on that fan club after Big Brother Nigeria? Who's taking the latest selfie? And so we're not thinking about ourselves or thinking about what we stand for. Rather, we're thinking about who has the most likes, and kind of like, a herd mentality. You move with the crowd and you lose yourself in that space. I think the second thing that has also hit me hard in this time is just the money, man, the change, dollar naira exchange swinging up and down, where conflicts, NASCO, let me not be calling brands, but you know what I mean. Things are more expensive now, and you can't touch anything and not have to pay through your nose. Let me even tell you guys the story. The other day, my mom went to buy oswoji. What do you call oswoji in English? Like this granite paste that you used to eat garden egg with.
Peanut butter, local peanut butter.
Thank you. Where? Peanut butter. I'm not going to buy peanut butter from the market, and she puts in this small bowl, right? And it was full. When she got home and we opened the bowl, this lady has smeared the peanut butter around the bowl. The middle was hollow. There was nothing, literally almost nothing inside. I and my mom were shocked. We were like, this is wisdom. But this is wisdom in the wrong direction. Who does that? Who cheats people with oswoji, please? Please. So, I mean, that's what's happening now. People no longer have any value for business integrity. They just do anything they can to get by. They don't care who they cheat or who cries, so that's it. That's literally what's happening. So I think my last question, we do have about 4 minutes to go, so let's think about this. What is our response to the not so new normal? How would you respond to all of these things we've just said? I can see Casey's new painting. Ada has a new office table. Ruthie has a wallpaper in her bag. See the strategist is literally, work-life balance is an art. You can sell it in the markets. Do you get? So what's our response really? How do you respond to all of this and not lose yourself? It's open. It's a free-for-all, so anybody can go.
Personally, I would say that I like reading the Holy Book because he always makes illustrations with animals. So look at the eagle. Every animal that's in the Holy Book is there for a specific reason. So the eagle, he said, if we wait, we will mount up with wings like eagles. Why? So when you look at the life of an eagle flies against the wind, against the current. It doesn't fly into it, We can't change. And I was telling some Christian friends the other day, as long as we are here on earth, we're going to keep having intersection with the systems of this world because we live here. And so we can't go and bury our heads in the ground like an ostrich who has the head in the ground and the butt exposed, and a bullet will hit you easily. So what do? You learn to fly against the wind. And that's what I was saying in my proverb, that the game has changed and we need to respond. When the scriptures joined us to go and make disciples, Christ never said to us the how, because the how, we have to figure it out for every generation. The labor of fools, weary them. He said, the labor of fools read them because they do not know how to take the city. God's not going to do that thinking for us. We have to think about how to coast, through this crisis. So it shouldn't break us. It should make us stronger. That's my
wow. Now you know why we come on the stage. I think I just have one more comment. Who's going to throw in what
I think what I would say.
Okay, let me go and come to Ruth.
Okay. I have a scripture to share too.
Yes, no, and I would say, I would say that based on that analogy Ada gave, and that while we also learn to walk through those tides, it's important that the things that we hold dear are etched, on the tables of our hearts. We live in that season where everything is becoming slippery. Remember I told you that it's scary. It's scary for me. It's as if everything is disintegrating. And before you know it, even the values the standards you hold there, it's as if they're all turning to vapor. Meaning that there needs to be some, solidifying. There needs to be some kind of hooking. There needs to be some kind of pinning down. And I think that should be our response. Pin down, don't, remove the ancient landmarks. Pin it there in your heart. Pin it there on the tables of your heart. Pin those values down. And so the methods will change, the systems will change, things would evolve. And it's also wisdom, like she has pointed out, that we learn and we're even versed in those ways without losing the essence of who we are.
Wow, fantastic. I like that word you said, pin it there. Because if you remember on Instagram, any comment you don't want to lose, you pin it. And so no matter what happens, those comments just go down. And the one you've pinned remains the focus comment for that post. So I really like that. Pin your values so that whatever comes, you interpret it through the lens of your values. Do you see why this is the powder room? Okay, Ruthie.
Okay, so what I wanted to say is actually similar to what Casey, the realist, just said. So when we talk about pinning, there are things that change, there are things that don't change. And when all these things are changing, remember your value system, and that value system has to be protected. Everything you pin, even pinning yourself, should be on something that doesn't shake. So the Holy Book talks about building on the rock. So things will shake all around you, but if you're pinned on the rock, you will not shake because you're pinned on the rock. And so, value system, things about eternity. When you see God, eternity, these things don't change. So it's worth pinning yourself on. And then when you now go down the value chain, you see that relationships they will last to eternity. You will still have people because we exist into eternity. And so when you're pinning your values, pin on those things that stand forever. You find people pinning on material things that will pass away. So don't pin on the things that will pass away. Pin more on the things that will not pass. So that when everything scatters all around you, you're standing strong because you pinned yourself on something that will not fail ever for eternity.
Thank you so much. Not just what you pin, but what you're pinning on, because that material also matters. It must stand the test of time. Thank you very much. See the strategist. The one scripture.
Yes, so building on what Ruth said, Proverbs 24:10, it says, if you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small. So a lot of people have fainted because they were not ready for this new not so normal. But there's something Casey said when we're preparing for the show, that the new not so normal is not a permanent thing, it's a continuous thing. So it's an opportunity to build strength so you don't faint in the future, So I think, whoever has gone through a lot this period, no need to faint, just get yourself up and find ways to build the strength that we're talking about. And we know where our anchor is, we know who our solid rock is. And so we recommend the solid rock to build strength. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. See the strategist. So you've heard it. So much has actually been said here today. Something Ada said that, resonated with me was when she said, stop. I think for many of us, we put a pause on our lives, waiting for when things are going to return to normal. There is no pause. I was talking to a consultant, an educational consultant. We had a meeting and she said, most of the schools that are thriving now are schools that are planning A and planning B. So face-to-face, we have a plan. Virtual, we have a plan. We're not holding assessments because we can't do assessments online. No, we need to think differently. So you need to start thinking of how to re-strategize what you already do for success, regardless of what the world throws at you. So I guess that's what we're saying. The last thing I will say is we need more custodians of what we're talking about. Be a custodian of the value that you believe in. Do not jump and pass when you see something on the social space that you think you need to say something about. Don't go with the herd mentality, but find what that value is, pin it on the word, and be vocal about it. That's it from us in the powder room. And it's 13 minutes. We had to cut our time short.
Yes.
Data is expensive now. Sisters, how do you see it? We cannot be talking for 1 hour. Please. Are you understand?
Time is money.
Time is money.
No.
Yes, it's the new normal.
Wow,
So we're coming and we're talking, and our topic for next week is it's okay not to be okay. So make it a date with us in the room. See you next week. Bye.
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 Okay, bye. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time up.
My mom hear that song again.
See, you see this one we did.
The best.
You see this one we did. It's powerful.